Good day, cramming engineers. So let's continue our lesson on Physics 2. So this time we will discuss current and the resistance. Okay, so far, we've discussed electrostatic conditions, wherein wala pa tayong charges na nagmo-move. Sorry, walang net flow, no, ng charges. Previously, we dealt with interactions of electric charges at rest. So now we are ready to study electric motions or electric charges in motion. Okay, so our definition of electric current, it is charges in motion, no, from one point to another. So if we have current passing through a conducting path that forms a closed loop, katulad nito. So we have a battery and we have a light bulb here. So if charges pass through a conducting path that forms a closed loop, katulad nito, we call this closed loop as an electric circuit. Okay, so this electric circuit, it is a means of conveying energy from one place to another. Okay, so kumbaga ano lang siya, track lang siya. Parang nilalatag lang natin yung dadaanan ng ating charges, no? And therefore, nilalatag natin yung transfer of energy, yung path of transfer of energy. So let's further define current. Yung current again is charges in motion. So again, in electrostatic situations, katulad nung previous lessons natin, the electric field is zero everywhere, no, within the conductor. Kaya there is no current. So this time, the question is, what happens kapag dito sa ating conductor, meron tayong steady electric field? Okay? So if we have a steady electric field, then we have a steady electric force within the conductors. Okay? So let's look at this image. Yung current natin, guys, actually, kung mapapansin nyo, nakita nyo dyan, positive charges ito. And this is what we call conventional current. Baka magtataka yung iba sa inyo, sir, akala po namin ang current ay electrons, flow of electrons. No, guys. Okay? So ito, gawa tayo ng isang example. So for example, meron tayo dito, imagine nyo guys, no, itong mga malaking bilog na ito yung atoms ng ating material, and itong mga negative na nakikita nyo, yun yung mga electrons. Okay? And kapag meron tayong net flow of electrons, mapapansin nyo, for example, papunta dito yung kanyang direction, itong electron na to, what it will do is it will jump to the next direction, to the next step. So, i-drawing natin yon. Ayan. Okay? So, after that, ang susunod naman sa kanya is this electron. Okay? So, yan yung nangyari. And habang nangyayari yan, guys, napapansin nyo ba that this hole, no? Yung hole dito kanina pala, dito sa pang-apat, ngayon ay nandito na siya. Okay? So, yung tinatawag natin, guys, na flow ng positive, it is actually the whole flow. Ito yung nakikita nating positive charges, quote-unquote, na dumadaloy. It is not actually the positive charges, hindi kasi sa isang atom, alam natin na nasa nucleus yung positive charge. So, it is actually the perceived charge of this. Kumbaga, it is the lack of electrons, no, thereof. Kaya, nagiging, quote-unquote, positive siya. Okay? It's because wala siyang electron. Kasi yung electron, kakaalis lang sa kanya. Okay? And this flow of holes, it is what we call the conventional current. So, tandaan yun, guys. Current per se doesn't mean electron flow, but rather it is the whole flow. So that is our conventional current, okay? And our definition of current is dq with respect to time. So this is our definition of current. Kung the amount ng charges na, kumbaga, kung dumadaloy itong charge na to, ano yung kanyang bilis? How many coulombs of charge passes through per second? Okay, so this is the unit of the numerator is coulomb and the unit of the denominator is second. So this is coulomb per second. So 1 coulomb per second is equal to 1 amperes. Okay, so ito yung unit natin, guys. 1 coulomb per second is equal to 1 ampere. Okay, so let's look at this figure again and let us derive. So let me erase. Okay, so makikita nyo meron tayong vector VD dito. That's VD. This is what we call the drift velocity or the speed of the charge flowing. Okay? Drift velocity. So ang unit ng velocity is meters per second. And dito, meron kang area taken, you took a small area and we call that A. Okay, so ang unit ng area is meters per second, right? And ito, kung mapansin nyo, you took VD times DT, it means it is a length, no? Kasi yung VD natin is meters per second and yung time ay yung DT natin is seconds, so it's time, magka-cancel si seconds, ang matitira is meters or it's a length. Kaya ito, this distance is described by VD times DT or kumbaga it is a length traveled by a force. Parang lang yan sa physics, no? If you have velocity, meron kang particle moving at a certain velocity and you multiplied, let's say, 2 seconds, makukuha mo kung gaano kalayo yung tinakbo niya nung particle. Tama po ba? So, we know that velocity times time is equal to displacement. Tama po ba yun? So, parang ganito lang din yun, ano? Wherein VD is your drift velocity and DT is the small differential time. Okay, so ito lang yung kinuha natin na sample, VD times DT. So that is that length. And pag minultiply natin yung VD times DT, which is also a length, and we multiply that with the area, ito is yung this is the volume nitong highlighted na cylinder. Okay po ba? So volume lang yan. And dito, sa volume na to, pwede natin mabilang kung ilan yung mga particles na nandyan. So, kung ilan yung particles ng material na nandyan. And that can be described by N. Okay? So, that is the concentration of particles. Okay? So, ang unit nito is per cubic meter. So, kapag i-multiply natin to dito, we will have N, V, D, dt times A. So, alam na natin kung ilang particles ang meron sa volume na to. And lastly is if we multiply the charge. Okay? Ilan yung charges na nandun sa kada particle na yon. So, we name that as Q. So, this is the charge. This is the number of particles. This is the volume. And this is actually the dQ na tinatawag natin. Okay, so this is the change in charge. This is the differential charge that is captured in that specific area or region. So bakit ulit? This is the volume and sa volume na yan, minultiply natin yung N. So ito yung number of particles. And with that, we multiply Q. So makuha natin yung amount of Q na dumadaloy doon sa region na yon. Okay, so that is the differential charge or the amount of charge flowing in that region of space. So if we divide dq by dt, ayan no, this dt, so dq over dt, alam natin that this is our current. And that is equal to yung mga natira dito. So that is q times n drift velocity times the area. Okay? So we can define the area as this quantity also. Okay? So that is one formula. And further, no, we can divide the current with this area. So I over A, that is equal to Q and drift velocity. And this is what we call J, or this is the current density. So what is the unit of current density? So yung current is amperes, ang area is meters squared. So the unit of current density is ampere per meter squared. Okay? So, ito yung amount ng current na dumadaloy in a certain area. Okay? So, that is current density. Amount of current, guys, hindi amount of charge. Okay. So, that is the second. This is the first, no? Yung mga formulas na kailangan natin sa ulo. And this as well. This is basic. Okay, so let's have this example. An 18-gauge copper wire has a nominal diameter of 1.02. This wire carries a constant current of 1.67 ampere to a 200 watt lamp. Okay, so may given tayo na power that is 200 watt. The density of free electrons is, so ito, no, free electrons is N. So that is 8.5 times 10 raised to 28. Again, ang unit niya is per cubic meter. So find the magnitudes of A, the current density, and B, the drift velocity. Okay? So again, let's look at our formula for drift velocity, for current density, that is Q and VD. So this is Q and VD. So ano yung mga given sa atin? O actually, makukuha natin better itong current density sa equation na to. J is equal to I over the area. Bakit? Given sa atin si current, kaya natin makuha si area. Tama? So, given tayo nung diameter. Kung mapapansin nyo, this is a copper wire. So, assume that it is a cylinder, no? So, that is the wire. Ang diameter daw nito is 1.02 mm. Okay? So, the area of that is what? That is pi r squared or pi over 4 d squared. So, kaya natin makuha si area and given naman si current. So, that is 1.67 amperes over the area is pi over 4. Ang diameter natin is 1.02 millimeter to. So we have to convert this. 1,000 mm is 1 meter. Okay, so cancel si mm. And we have to square this value. So the answer, guys, is around 2.04 times 10, no? Raised to 6 ampere per meter squared. So this is our current density. Okay? So nakuha na natin siya. So, next naman is to get the VT. Okay, so gamitin natin yung ating equation kanina for J, that is equal to N VD Q. Ayan. So, alam na natin si J, alam naman natin si N, and paano natin kukunin si Q? Okay, so VD will be equal to J over N times Q. So, ang J natin is 2.04 times 10 raised to 6 amperes per meter squared. Ang VD natin, ang N natin is given, that is 8.5 times 10 raised to 28. Ang laki, no? Unit is per cubic meter or M cube or M raised to -3. Okay, and then the Q will be what? The Q is ang charge natin. Okay, so that is a constant 1.6 times 10 raised to -19 coulombs. So the answer here will be, so this is 150 micro, or ilagay na lang natin times 10 raised to -6 meters per second. Okay, so this is the drift velocity. Kung mapapansin nyo, bakit sobrang liit? Kasi guys, microscopic level tayo, no? Times 10 raised to -6. Ang liit-liit niyan. Kumbaga yan yung velocity ng mga charge natin na dumadaloy. Sobrang liit lang niya. Okay? Pero kung tutuusin, mabilis yan, guys. So that is our example. So let's move on to resistivity. We define resistivity. Ang symbol natin for resistivity is rho, no? And we define resistivity as the electric field divided by the current density. So, ang unit nito is ohm times meter. So, for a perfect conductor, ang resistivity nito is 0. So, hindi siya nagre-resist. Nagko-conduct lang siya. Kaya siya perfect conductor. So, ang perfect insulator naman, ang rho niya is infinite. So, ang reciprocal ng ating resistivity or 1 over rho, this is J over E. This is what we call conductivity. No? That is sigma, or this is conductivity. And the unit of this is, well, kabaliktaran lang nun. Ohm, meter, raised to -1. Right? So that is how we define resistivity. So we have here a table of resistivity. No? So ito yung mga resistivity ng ating mga conductors, alloys, semicon, and insulators. Okay? Kung mapapansin nyo, yung resistivity ng ating conductors ay 1.47 times 10 raised to -8. Medyo mababa, no? And i-compare nyo yun sa ating mga insulators. For example, yung amber, the resistivity is 5 times 10 raised to 14. Ang laki, no? Ito raised to -8. Ito raised to +14. Ayan, ang layo ng difference. And kung mapansin nyo, meron din tayo dito semiconductors. And aralin natin, guys, kung ano yung effect ng temperature sa resistivity ng ating mga materials. Okay? So here we have three graphs. So makita natin dito guys is a graph of the resistivity and the temperature. So we have three graphs here. So itong una, this is for metals. Ito, this is for semicon. And this is for what we call superconductors. Take a look at this. Dito sa ating metals, yung resistivity ng ating metal, it increases as the temperature increases. Hindi siya linear, yung increase, pero it increases. And actually, we have an equation for that. So we can get, using some techniques, pwede natin magamit or pwede natin ma-derive this equation that the resistivity as a function of temperature that is equal to the initial, this one, times 1 plus alpha T minus T naught. This alpha is what we call the temperature coefficient of resistivity. Okay? So sa higher EE or sa ECE, baka gamitin itong equation na to, no? For circuits 1, yes, nagagamit ito. Pero ayan, dito ay i-introduce lang natin, ano? So kung mapapansin nyo, what this means is that habang umiinit yung ating temperature ng ating material, tumataas din yung resistance or yung resistivity ng material na yun. Okay, so what might be the explanation for that? Kapag umiinit yung ating material, okay, so ang explanation guys, kung bakit tumataas yung resistivity ng metals as the temperature increases, kasi kung titignan mo microscopically, sobrang liit ng mga particles ng metal, habang iniinit natin siya, mas nagva-vibrate siya, mas gumagalaw siya, mas excited siya kasi mas mataas yung energy na meron siya. Tama ba? And because of this high energy that the particles have within the material, mas nahihirapan na gumalaw yung electrons, for it to direct the path. Parang isipin nyo, saan ba mas madaling tumakbo? Kapag normal lang na panahon or kapag lumilindol. Ang weird ng analogy, pero parang yun eh. Kapag mas mainit, imagine nyo na yung material sa loob is lumilindol. Nagkakaroon siya ng excitation dun sa ating particles dun sa material. So, mas nahihirapan tumakbo yung electrons or mag-pass through. Okay, that's why mas tumataas yung resistivity, which is, kumbaga, yung resistance talaga ng material para ipa-flow yung electrons. Okay? And yeah, so that's it for metals. For semiconductors naman, ito siya, mapapansin nyo, as the temperature increases, bumababa yung resistivity. Okay? So meron siyang specific na graph na ganyan. Because of this, madaming applications si semiconductor. Okay? So because at certain temperatures, they act as a conductor, and at some temperatures, they act as insulators. Okay? So para siyang gate, pwede mong i-control kung papapasukin mo ba yung current or not. That's why semiconductors are widely used sa ating mga electronics. Okay? And lastly is superconductors. Ayan, kung mapapansin nyo, so ang weird nung graph niya, So superconductors at temperature below TC, ayan. So merong kada superconductor material, meron siyang sariling TC. Below that TC, the resistivity is 0. Kaya siya superconductor. Kumbaga, perfect conductor siya when the temperature is below this TC. So actually ginagamit na itong mga superconductors ngayon, and maraming researches about superconductors ngayon kasi they want, kapag 0 yung resistivity, ang daming possibilities na pwede mangyari. Parang wala tayong resistance. So, pwede natin mabawasan yung mga losses, thus making our electrical systems more efficient. Pero malayo pa yan, guys. Okay, a question to test kung naintindihan nyo. For example, dito sa semiconductor, if, for example, we maintain an constant electric field inside a piece of semiconductor, while lowering the semicon's temperature, tingin nyo what will happen to the current density? So, tingin nyo what will happen if we maintain the electric field at a constant value while binababa natin yung temperature? What will happen to the current density? Tingin nyo. Okay, so tip, no? Alam naman natin that the resistivity is E over J as we've defined. Tama ba? So therefore, if we want to maintain E, which is equal to rho times J, ang tanong is what will happen if we lower the temperature? What will happen to the current density? So pansinin nyo itong graph na to ng semiconductor. Kapag bumababa ang temperature, ayan, so kung papunta tayo doon, mapapansin nyo, yung resistivity niya is umaakyat. Tama po ba? And kapag umaakyat yung resistivity niya, in order for you to maintain the same amount of E, what will happen to current density? It will lower down. So tandaan nyo guys, yung mga ganyang types of question, minsan lumalabas yan sa board exam. So mga medyo mahirap kung hindi nyo alam yung graph and yung equation. So ayan, just keep in mind. So let's move on. Ayan. So we've already established that the electric field is equal to rho times the current density J. So the problem with this guys is itong electric field at yung current density ay medyo mahirap silang i-measure sa totoo lang. Ang kayang i-measure na mga equipment natin, mga instruments natin, ang mas madaling ma-measure is voltage and yung current. Okay? So instead na electric field, voltage, instead na current density, current yung na-measure. Okay? So let's rewrite our equation. So if we have E is equal to rho times J, alam natin that the current is what? That is the current, sorry, mali. The current density is the current over the area. We know that, tama? So therefore, I is equal to J times A. And we also know that the voltage is equal to E times L or the length. Ano lang to? Parang itong equation na to. No? Pero instead na D, distance, ang gagamitin natin is L for length. Kasi conductors yung pinag-uusapan natin. Mahaba itong mga to. Okay po ba? With that, I can write E is equal to V over L and J is equal to 1 over A. Itong dalawang to, itry natin i-plug in dito sa equation na to. Okay, so what we will have is V over L is equal to rho times I over A. Okay? So tingin dito guys. Ayan. I'll rearrange this a bit para maging voltage over current and that is equal to rho and ito ay aakyat doon L over A. And this is now what we call R, or this is the resistance. So we define resistance as the resistivity times the length over the area. And kung mapapansin nyo, V over I equals R. V over I equals R, or let me rearrange that as V is equal to I times R. Okay? So this is what we call Ohm's law. So ang unit natin ng V is volts. Unit natin ng I is amperes. This is ohms. So let me discuss this a little bit more. Okay, imagine nyo that you have this tube, you also have this tube, and you also have this tube. Okay, question. Kung kayo ay isang tao, well, tao naman talaga kayo, tapos papapasukin ko kayo dyan, kailangan yung dumaan, then dapat lalabas kayo sa kabilang side, saan kayo dadaan? Maybe lang, let's say, ito kayo. Saan kayo dadaan? A, B, or C? So feeling ko, ang answer nyo is letter A. Bakit? Kasi, well, kasyang-kasya kayo no? So bakit hindi kayo dadaan kay B? The first one is masyadong maliit yung area. Okay? Kapag maliit yung area, kapag maliit itong value na to, mas mataas yung resistance. Kaya ayaw nyo dan. Ayaw nyo dyan. Kasi i-resist kayo nung tube B na dumaan. Bakit? Kasi maliit yung area niya eh. This value sa denominator ay mababa, therefore mataas yung resistance. Sa pangalawa, ayan, sige. Let's say we have the same area nito, assuming same area, pero yung isa is mahaba. Yan, between these two, A and D, saan kayo dadaan? Siyempre, dito kayo sa A. Kasi kahit na pare sila ng area, mas hasan dito kasi mas mahaba yung L niya. Mahaba. as compared dito. Tama? And ayan, kapag mas mahaba yung L, pag mas mataas yung L, mas mataas yung resistance. Okay? So that is the effect of length and the area. So how about this resistivity? Yung resistivity, guys, it says about the material na. Okay, itong tubo na to. Okay? So, meron tayong mga tubo na made out of plastic. Meron naman tayong mga tubo na, let's say, made out of cement. Okay, so kung gagapang kayo dyan sa dalawa, plastic or cement, alin yung pipiliin nyo? Of course, yung plastic. Kasi siya ay smoother. Tama? Hindi masakit gumapang as compared sa cement. Tama? And itong factor of material, dito niya nakapasok sa resistivity. As we've discussed, may mga iba't ibang resistivity yung ating mga materials. So, the higher the resistivity, ibig sabihin, mas insulator siya. Okay? Ibig sabihin, itong mga bagay na to, guys, kung ibapalit natin dito sa ating analogy, ibig sabihin, itong amber na sobrang taas ng resistivity, siguro kung may mga bubog yan sa loob. Ganun mo siya isipin para na hindi nyo nakakalimutan. Okay? So, there we have it. We have Ohm's law. We also have this resistance equation. Okay, so speaking of Ohm's law, so we have materials or even resistors, no, that if we draw the I and V curve, this is the current while this is the voltage, na habang tinataas natin yung voltage, tumataas din yung current. Okay? So, meron tayong mga ganito and the slope is 1 over R. Tama ba? Say, B is equal to IR. Kapag kunin natin yung kabaligtaran, 1 over R times V. Okay? So, this is a function of velocity. Kumbaga, a velocity voltage. So, ito yung, kumbaga, slope nitong function na to. If this is the case, if this slope is linear, we call this an ohmic material. Okay? So, meron naman kasing ibang materials na if this is the IV curve, ang kanyang itsura is something like this. Hindi linear. Okay? Kapag ganito, where your R is not constant, this is a non-ohmic material. Okay, guys? Okay. So, let's try this example. This is a continuation of the previous example, The 18-gauge copper wire in example 25.1 yung kanina has a diameter of 1.02 mm. Okay? Cross-sectional area of 8.2 times 10 raised to negative 7 meters squared. It carries a current of 1.67 amperes. So, ilagay natin yung mga given. 1.67, diameter is 1.02 times 10 raised to negative 3 meters. Ilagay natin mga SI units na lang para hindi nakakalito. Area is 8.2 times 10 raised to negative 7 square meters. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So, the first is the electric field magnitude in the wire. Okay? So, how will we get this electric field? We get this by using this equation. Tama ba? R rho is equal to E over J. Let's see. So, what do we know? We have I, and we also have the area. So, pwede natin makuha si J. Pero si resistivity, kaya ba natin siya makuha? What is our equations for resistivity? Okay, so to get the electric field, we use this equation. We know the J. We can get the J by dividing the current with the area. But how will we get the rho? Well, we know that the rho is specific sa material and we know that this is a copper wire. Tama po ba? And we can use the table that we have here and get the rho of copper. Okay, so for copper, the resistivity is 1.72 times 10 raised to negative 8. Okay? So rho is 1.72 times 10 raised to negative 8 ohm meter. Okay po ba? So we can use this. Tama ba? 1.72. Okay, yes. We can use this and plug it into our equation wherein E is equal to 1.72 times 10 raised to negative 8 ohm meter. times J, which is I over A, is 1.67 amperes over the area is 8.2 times 10 raised to negative 7 meters squared. Okay? So, unit analysis muna tayo. Magka-cancel itong isang meter at ito. Ohm times amperes will give us volts. Okay? The unit will give us volt sa numerator and meter sa baba. So, volt per meter, and this is a valid electric field unit. Okay? So, 1.72 times 10 raised to negative 8. So, this is 0.35 volt per meter. So, this is the electric field. 0. Ano pala to guys? 0.0. Okay, so that is the electric field. And next is the potential difference between 2 points in the wire, 50 meters apart. And we know that that is equal to V is equal to ED. So, ayan, 0.035 volt per meter. That's our electric field times ilang distance? 50 meters, no? So, this will give us 1.75 volts. Okay, so next is the resistance of the 50 meter length wire. Okay, so we know that R is equal to rho L over A. Okay, and we know that the rho is 1.72 times 10 raised to negative 8 ohm meter. The length is 50 meters. And the area is, ano ulit yung area? This one is the area. That is 8.2 times 10 raised to negative 7. Okay? So this is 1.04878 ohms. So this is the resistance of that object. Okay? So ayan. We now got the electric field, the voltage, and the resistance of this given figure or of this given material. Okay? So I hope that naintindihan yung ating lesson for today. That will be all. Thank you.